Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and today we are going to work with our watercolor pencils. It was a very watercolor type month for me when it comes to this. But you know what? We have it, so let's use it. Today I am featuring a stamp set from Paper Rose called Sketchy Floral Thanks, and it's a 4x6 stamp set. And I'm using my Distress Archival. So just know that when you use any archival inks, whether it's, the Ranger Archivals or the Distress Archivals, they will stain your stamps. So don't be upset. You're not going to be able, unless you use a special cleaner, but they do clean and you will be able to continue to use them. But I chose the Espresso, the dark brown. I didn't want to go with a black, but I wanted something, deep and bold when it came to this image. And I'm going to be using my Arteza watercolor pencils, and I'm just picking a few out here, just looking. I'm not one to test my colors, so to speak. I just pick some colors that I think of the name, think of what it will look like, and then I just go with it. Now, for something like this, for other items, yes, I will take the time to say, okay, are these going to blend the right way? But very few, whether it's colored pencils or watercolor pencils, let's have some fun. We are card makers. Let's have some fun with that. So I used some pink tones in the flower at the base, and now I'm working on my greens. For watercolor pencils, I like to lay down my lightest color first, and then come in with my darker. I don't go into 2, 3, 4 shades of colors when it comes to watercolors. Really, I'll stick with 2, maybe a third, but very rarely. I also like to use a watercolor brush with my watercolor pencils, especially this one because it's stiff. It's extremely stiff. Now, I like stiff watercolor brushes, but their bristles are usually longer, where these are shorter and stiff, so they can really move that pigment around. The paper that I stamped on and that I'm using my pencils on is the Canson XL Cold Press. Honestly, it is my favorite. I love this cold press paper. I think it does just fine. After I put that first layer down, you saw the 2 tones that I got. I wait for that to dry, and then I'll add some more pigment from the pencils to that. I don't go, you don't want to really put your pencils in when it's wet. It's just going to smear it, and you're not going to be able to blend it. The other thing you don't want to do is dip your pencil in water. I know some people do it and they have great results. I do not recommend it. If you get up into the wood barrel that's getting wet, when it dries, it can expand, it can crack, and it can just do all kinds of funny things. So you can see here, I do have those different colors. Now I'm coming in with my watercolor brush. You can see I am dabbing off the water often onto my paper towel that I always have off to the side. As I'm moving that color, when I want that color to stop, I'll clean my brush off so that it's clean. It's like picking up clean water so that I can continue that blend. You can see once again, I'm coming in with 2 colors, and then I'm even going to go through and put color on my petals at the base and the tips. That's the beauty of watercolor pencils. You could color this entire image with your pencils and then come back in with your brush and water or your watercolor brush, and then just have fun mixing those colors and seeing what you get so that they blend, and see all the different colors that come up. Because as you're doing that, you're not letting each section dry. you know, so they'll blend together. Again, that's what we do with watercolors. So that's the fun part. For those leaves at the top, I did have 3 colors there, and let those blend out. But you can get beautiful results with watercolor pencils with little effort. So you can see, very simple. I'm also using the die, the coordinating die for this set. Now I'm only die cutting the daisy part, the larger. I'm not die cutting the smaller image. And you can see when I die cut it, it cut the paper in half. Now I have a piece of satin mirror gold cardstock here, and I've cut out the center because I hoard that. And I'm going to set my panel on top. Now I only put the double-sided tape where I needed to. Now I'm just going to put some double-sided tape here on the back because I want to get this onto my card base, which is going to be a standard A2 size card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I want to get that in place because when I die cut that and I saw that it didn't cut the center out, the image out, it cut off the side. I really liked that. I'm like, this could be interesting. Now with that die cut, I did cut multiples. I dug into my scraps, and I am so sorry that I did not zoom back out. Yes, I'm not realizing that I am just so zoomed in on this. So it's like adhesive glue bottle in your face. And I do so apologize to that. You know, us creatives, when we do this, there's a lot we have to remember. And obviously we forget. So I dug into my scraps of other cardstocks that I had. Now there's some ivory here and some white, but I die cut this 4 more times, glued those all together. And I'm going to die cut that one piece off because I want it to be even with my panel there. But I really love that band of gold, the dark brown from the matte coming through just that one side. So I am not actually going to put the other side of the watercolor panel on. I'm going to let that look like that it's cut off. So I thought that was really interesting and different. You know, it's how we can create as we keep going with our card and we see something, we're like, oh, well, let's try this. Let's see what that would look like. And I really like that effect. I'm using the sentiments from the stamp set, and I'm putting thanks for all you do. And again, I'm using my inks there to stamp that image. Setting up my card base. This is actually going to be a side folding card base. And then I'll set this panel using my liquid adhesive up on top. And then I'm going to add a few sequins. These sequins are actually by Spellbinders, and they're peach iridescent. But I love the iridescent effect. I see the oranges and the golds and the yellows along with the peach if you tilt it just right. So I thought these were perfect to put on top of this card. I'm using my wax pencil to set those in place. And that is our card. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, working with our colored pencils, having fun with some die cuts, changing our minds. And again, this is featuring the Paper Rose Sketchy Floral Thanks, both the stamp and the die. I'll have the links to the products that I used down below in the video description. And if you have any questions, make sure you leave those down below. And someone will get back to you as soon as we can. While you're here, hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. Enjoy your day. Have fun creating your art. Again, I'm always going to tell you that. We create art, no matter how we create or what we're creating with. Just make sure you enjoy it, but always remember, be creative. And I'll talk to you to the next one, guys. Take care.